The entire Manosphere is nothing but a grift. I watched the documentary The Manosphere, and when I saw it through the lens of the most common criticism, which is that it doesn't go deep enough. And I think that's a fair criticism. But just to be clear, this is not going to be a criticism of the filmmaker. The film itself did very much have a feeling of like just getting started. By the time we were introduced to the subjects and given a basic sense of who they were, the documentary was basically wrapping up. The documentary basically introduced the idea, it raised the topic, but it didn't fully interrogate it. You don't really need to get much deeper to get a true sense of what the problems are here. Just barely scratching the surface is all you need to see exactly what the filmmaker called out. The men in this documentary were all raised in difficult circumstances and with a lack of a male role model. That's the common denominator. And rather than address that, what they do is take their problems out on women. They tell men, young men, that the only way that they can make money is to step out of the workforce and buy their classes. For just a mere $5,000, you can have the keys to success. All they're really doing is tapping into male insecurity. One thing that the filmmaker called out as sort of paradoxical about the way that these men describe how women are supposed to behave, and then the fact that they surround themselves with women who are in complete opposition to how they say women should act. That's not a paradox at all. When they convince themselves that women are supposed to behave in a certain way, and then they surround themselves with women who don't, that gives them permission in their own minds to mistreat these women. Because after all, they aren't conducting themselves in a way that is deserving of respect. So they never listen to women. They never take their feedback. They don't actually understand women on any level, but they're selling other men the idea that they totally get women and they can help them to get women too. The only women that they really had in this documentary were women who view the relationship with these men as transactional. It was women who are creators in the OnlyFans community that they manage. It was other content creators who are looking to go on their show to increase clout so that they can increase their own income. And then they tell men that they're getting all these women. It's a business relationship. They are essentially paying those women to be there, whether directly or indirectly, by helping them to build their audience so that they can increase their revenue off of monetization of their accounts. The only reason that these men have an audience at all is because there are a lot of insecure men who have no idea how to communicate with women out there, who are looking to give their money away to someone to just tell them how to do it. And these men pay women to be around them and then tell other young men, look at all these women I have around me. And certainly it's accurate to say that you can find good coaching relationships with people who have actual knowledge about the subject matter. But these men are not doing that. They are deceiving their audience and then selling them the lie. Even the documentary filmmaker himself gave one of the Manosphere men some money to invest in his project, and it dropped in value more than 50%. So the criticism that it didn't go deep enough, I don't disagree with that criticism. I would just say that in order to have some real takeaways from what happened, you don't really need to go all that deep. And the people in the documentary, the Manosphere men in the documentary, they were extremely guarded. They were not openly just giving him access to the things that they think, feel, believe, and say. He's basically everything that they say you can't be and be successful, and yet here he is, a documentary filmmaker who is successful in his field. He's the answer to all of their lies. He calls out their lies, and he doesn't even have to say anything to do it. Just being there, just being a contradiction to everything that they say, calls them out, and you can see it in them as soon as he comes around. Their demeanor changes. They literally look him up and down in disbelief of the fact that a man who looks like this, who doesn't spend hours every single day in the gym, who doesn't do mirror work trying to perfect the looks that they have, the way that they talk, their mannerisms, who doesn't sit in front of a tanning booth or get a spray tan, who doesn't carefully craft the looks that he puts together, the outfits that they put together every single day. He doesn't do any of those things. And yet here he is being successful in his field. Something that they tell their audience every single day is not possible. He makes what they say look as transparent as it sounds to all of us. Another criticism that I saw was that people basically said it lacks like a clear thesis. It doesn't really tell you what the point of it all is. It doesn't really tell you what to think. That's not necessarily a weakness, though. He lets people arrive at the conclusion that this is some nonsense all on their own without telling them that, without coming out and saying, this is what you should think and feel about this topic. He just gives you the information and lets you arrive at the conclusion yourself. And again, it really just doesn't take very much. You don't need to scratch much below the surface before you can see this for what it is.